city, I love when it's hot. Turned to the city, I broke all the knots. Got some more millies that keep me a knot. I created history, it made me a lot. He tried to diss me and it don't false. We call them chopsticks cause they gonna chop.
When it comes to Miami Hurricanes recruiting, I guess you could say it's hot. What is up? And welcome into another episode of the Somebody Said Canes Show. As always, I am Breeze, as part of the Somebody Said Sports Network. Here on this show, we talk everything Canes every week, every Wednesday night, trying to run these at 8 p.m. As always, or as I said, I'm going to bring homies along with me. As you can see, I got me a guest. Before I introduce them, we got to take care of those business matters first. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. A lot of folks been subscribing, commenting, hitting the like. I appreciate all of it. I appreciate everybody who shows love. Again, hit those comments, man. I want to talk Canes ball with other people. But I told you I was going to bring homies along with me on this journey. I brought some already. I've been waiting to get this guy on the show. This is my guy, Adam. He is diehard Cane as much as anybody I know. Adam, what is up, bro?
How we doing, Breeze? Glad to be here. I know schedules are tough, but we're here.
That's all right, man. You know, you kept the people waiting, but that's all right. You kept me waiting. I don't know if the people realize what they're getting, but I realize, dog, and it's a pleasure to have you, man.
Appreciate
Bro, we
you.
got a lot to talk about. As I always try to keep these shows to about 30 minutes. As the title says, we're going to get into some recruiting stuff. Miami Hurricanes recruiting is off to a hot start. Also, we are less than 2 weeks away from spring ball. All right, so it's time to start getting into that spring talk. Guys to look out for, projections on the depth chart and stuff like that. Weeks ago, I put out my 2 early starting 22 for spring. Obviously, we're going to find out who really is on that 22. We're going to find out real soon. But for the night, we're going to talk recruiting, which is off to a crazy hot start with a massive recruitment coming this past weekend. 305 day was a huge success. We're going to get into that. And then we'll jump into some guys that we are excited to see in the spring. So, let's start first with that recruiting stuff. So last week I came on here and I showed my top 5 most wanted recruits. It was Mark Matthews. It was Nick Lennear. It was Honor, the kid out of California who's about to commit tomorrow in a couple of days.
USC.
Yep, not going to be to Miami, which is cool.
Nope.
I said it was a little bit of a reach. DJ Jacobs was on that list for me. And my number 5 guy, I'm trying to remember who my 5th guy was. Dang, I'm slacking on that. Oh, it was Abrams, the quarterback. Israel Abrams was my number 5. Those are my top 5 most wanted recruits. Big news on one of them. Let's go ahead and start with that recruiting talk, bro. Actually, I'm tripping. Pardon me. I got to give the people an opportunity to find out a little bit about you first. So 2 questions I always ask my guests. Number 1, why are you a Canes fan, bro? Like, where did it start? Where did it came from?
So when I moved down here in the early 2000s, that's when I first started getting into football. In 2001, that's my first recollection. Obviously, we were what we were. I had just moved down here, and Sean Taylor popped off the screen for me, and we were popping at the time. So they're right down the road from where I lived, and the rest is history. And I've been
Okay.
going to games since I was 6 years old, ever since. So
I mean, you literally, your family could not have picked a better time to move to the city of Miami to
right,
be Canes fans.
right. But yeah, it went the right way. I mean, being from Connecticut, got the UConn basketball team that we look for, but
Yeah.
football wasn't really a thing up there when I was that young. So when I moved down here is when I really started getting into football, and here we are.
I try to ignore that whole UConn basketball thing, bro, as much as possible. I mean, listen, we all got flaws. It is what it is. My second question I always have to ask every guest that comes on the show, who is your favorite Cane all time?
Oh, that's the easy one. Sean Taylor. Always will be. Always will.
Yeah. May he
I
rest.
mean, I wish he was still here. Rest in peace. Man, what he could have been in the NFL too bothers me, but
Yeah.
life.
Just physically gifted, dog. Just special, man. Like there's nothing Sean Taylor couldn't do on a football field. Like I truly believe that. And I'll go to my grave. He wanted to be like an elite quarterback. I feel like he could have did that. He could have
100%.
played DN if he wanted to. Like Sean Taylor was just everything, bro. There's nothing he couldn't do.
Those running
No.
back highlights are crazy, but
Again, there's nothing he couldn't do. All right. That's a little intro. Tell the people a little bit about you, why you're a Canes fan, all that good stuff, bro. Let's go ahead and get into this recruiting. So before we talk about what happened this past weekend, 305 day and all that dope stuff, One thing that has been a recurring story with Mario when it comes to recruiting is every class, it seems like he's got a specific position group that he's going after, right? We saw when he really went in on offensive line, we ended up with Francis and Sampson, and we had to arguably the best offensive line class. Then you saw him go after D line at one point. We've seen him go after wide receiver. For this class, is there a position group, one that you think should be the focus? Maybe a position group that we haven't recruited up to snuff? And then is there a position group that you would like to be the focus of this recruiting class?
So that's a good question. I mean, I'll preface it by saying I know it's going to be a smaller class than what we had last year. We're probably going to be in the low 20s, if that. But
Like,
I think just based on optics and what's going on and who's visiting and who we visited, I think the emphasis is flipped back to the defensive line. Those
okay.
resources that we're going in on. I mean, just if you go down the composite list, you got the number one player in the country, Brewster, the defensive tackle, who's an absolute problem. We have a chance there. I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle, but we do have a chance. That's the number one player in the country. And then you got DJ Jacobs, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
You got KJ Green up in Georgia. But the name that, I mean, most people know about him, but Canes fans should be more familiar with is Jaden Bryant. That's probably their number one target. And I
Okay.
know that's saying something, but that's from what I understand, that's they want him just as much as they want the DJ Jacobs of the world. But yeah, they've been all over Texas. They've been in North Carolina, obviously here in Florida. They're trying to get the best of the best at that position. So, and we also could be losing a lot this year. If you think about it, we got Damon Wilson.
Yeah.
He's got 1 year left. Moton's gone. If Justin Scott has the year we expect him to have, he's not staying. And then the fourth side, I mean, you got Lightfoot over there. He could stay. He could have another year too, where he has 10 sacks. You never know. So we could be losing a lot as well. But you always got to stack those lines. As we can see, it just helped us in the college football playoff. So.
It's funny you call out D line, bro, because I think DN we've probably recruited maybe as good as any other position since Mario's been here. But if you're nitpicking and you're looking for a position group where we maybe haven't always crushed it, it's got to be D tackle, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you got Justin Scott, who was a massive win, and that was huge. Other than that, it's kind of just been names, right? Like not even like no huge recruiting wins. We shot for the stars. We shot at Aiden
Mm-hmm.
Breland. You know, you put in the chat the other day, like we had a recruiting visit with massive names at the D line positions, and most of them did not hit, right? So if you're looking at a position group where it's like, there might be some more meat on the bone from a recruiting standpoint, it very well could be D tackle. So that kind of checks out.
And they actually, I mean, you've heard it, but Keyshawn Stansel, he's
Mhm.
one to watch in the spring. He's not my top two to watch, but he's one they absolutely love. They think they hit it out of the park with him. So
Which they
we'll
probably
see.
did, but it's like also those are that's one of those positions where I'd like to throw some numbers at. We kind of
Mm-hmm.
did it, you know. We took probably three guys that'll play D tackle
We took
in the
four
last class.
almost
Was it four?
in five, yeah, four and possibly a fifth with Nagel. They're
Really?
gonna let him flip back and forth. Yep.
Oh, eh,
Yeah, I mean, they threw
eh,
numbers at it, but it wasn't the numbers we would like, which is like a number one
correct.
overall recruit.
Correct.
So
And there was no
we'll see.
big name guy. I think Keyshawn Stansel has a lot of opportunity. I think he's gonna be fine. But you know what I mean? It'd be nice to get another Justin Scott type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we haven't been able to do that again. If you can start stacking those guys, right? You think about like the run that like Georgia made. I was listening to a
Mm-hmm.
podcast earlier. They were talking about the run that Clemson made. And you start hearing
Yep.
some of the D tackle names, right? Like guys that they were lining up next to each other. That's when you start talking about opportunities to go on like some runs for real. And I think
Yep.
yeah, D focusing on the D line makes a lot of sense. Is that also the same position group that you would want to focus on, or would you say there's another position group that you personally, right? If you're like, if you were laying out the hot board and you're like, this is the position group that I really want to hit. Maybe it's because there's just some good names in this cycle. Maybe because South Florida's going to put out a number of guys at a certain position group, or would you still stick with the D line?
I mean, I would stick with the D line, but I'll throw one out there for you. We need to recruit the tight end room better. I think we could fit some premier athletes down there. I mean, Elijah Arroyo, we were spoiled with him. I think we have something with Mueller and Luca Gilbert. I
Mhm.
just need Elijah Lofton to stay healthy and show us what he showed on Green Tree. Then I'll feel better about it. But we need to get a premier person there as well. And I also think we finally need to land like a top 3 to 5 corner because there's about 6 5 stars this year. I think we need to land one of them.
Okay.
Um, and
Okay.
I know that's what we always want every year, but
Right.
that's what I would like to get. And just a tidbit for you on the safety from California, Johnson, Falave Johnson, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. Honor. Yeah.
His injury, USC shut down his visit to us. Let's call it what it is. But
Heard about that.
yep, so happens. But that's what happens when you're going for the best players in the country.
That's part of the game, dog. But again, you can't win those recruitments if you're not in them. So I'll never be
Exactly.
mad at Mario shooting for the stars, shooting for big names, even if they're clear across the country, because you can't win them if you're not in them, and you got to put yourself in those positions to try and win them. So
Yep.
now let's jump a little bit into this junior day. So 305 day comes around. Has that always been a thing? Am I misremembering? Like, I don't
It,
think 305 days always been like a
no,
huge
it
deal.
hasn't
Okay.
been. No.
Okay.
I just think it
So
happened to fall on a perfect time, spring break. So
hey, listen, man, that's good marketing, right? Like
hmm
you can mix in your junior day, you give it a name. What did those big junior days used to be called? What did they used to call them? They had like names for them.
legend, not Legends Camp.
Legends Camp.
Yeah, but they had the pool party too. It was the day
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, Legends
Okay.
Camp was interesting. I used to go to those back in the day. Watch
Mm-hmm.
our boy Jaden Hazelwood, that 5 star receiver. Never forget
Yeah,
that. I
boy.
was at the one with Devontae Smith, Jerry Judy, DJ Dallas, all them going head to head.
You
That
had
was
the
pretty
one with the
cool.
tight end too, the one that ended up going to Georgia.
Darnell Washington. Yep.
Darnell Washington. Yeah,
Big
yeah,
boy.
man. I wanted Darnell Washington back. So anyway, we
Mhm.
have 305 day, we have junior day. Mario has kids on campus. Some kids hang around for a couple of days. A few big name kids, right? They tried to
Mhm.
hide the fact that Mark Matthews was there, but you can't hide Mark Matthews. He's too big to hide. Like you can't hide a jit that
Yep.
big. Have him walking around your campus, hanging out at Mario's house. But we had a bunch of kids on campus. The biggest thing to come out of junior day was this right here.
Nick Lennear, class of 2027. Today I want to announce I'm committed to the University of Miami.
Big.
That boy, no cut Nick, man. Listen, I went on a whole spiel about Nick last week. Nick was in my top 5 most wanted recruits in this class. For those who don't know, one, do they have air condition in that rock you live under? Because if you don't know who No Cut Nick is, bro, you got to be living under a rock. The kid is a special talent. I think his recruitment means so much more than just winning a potential 5-star recruitment type of situation. I think there's even more than that to it. What are your thoughts on the Nick commitment? Like getting him in the boat this early, but what also could this mean for like other recruitments?
Yeah, so I mean, I actually saw him at the national championship, and I asked him straight to his face. I said, what's taking you so long? When are you going to pop?" And he laughed and he said, "Soon." So I guess he was telling the truth. I mean, a month and a half later, he pulled the trigger. But what it means, I mean, South Florida, he's a legend down here. They love him in
Mm-hmm.
South Florida. But the other thing too is he's big on 7-on-7, and they play nationally, and a lot of kids know about him and know what he brings to the table, so they're going to want to play with them. I mean, if you've noticed, just even the past week, you've heard more things about the QB situation recruiting wise. You got the Davin Davison kid down in Cardinal Mooney, and then you
Mm-hmm.
got Will Menkel out in Arizona, and then Israel Abrams. I expect one of the three, most likely Davidson, to be the quarterback. But just being able to sell, hey, I got Nick Lennear committed, like these kids want to play with them.
Yeah.
And not only that, you have friends that are on a 7-on that are on different positions. They don't even play wide receiver or quarterback, and they want to come as well. And that's kind of the stuff you're hearing now. It's just going to carry into more momentum, which we have right now, and I expect to continue throughout the end of the spring. So I think that's when
Yeah.
we're going to be wrapped up. But
It's funny because I didn't feel it as much as I probably should have when we got Molly last year, right? And then like as the season's going and you see Molly's balling, but you see videos of other high school kids, you see other jits talking about Molly, even little kids. They're
yep,
like, oh, who gonna win the Heisman? Malachi Tony. Like all these little jits want to play with Molly. And then I think, and I could be reaching on this, I feel like getting a guy like Molly, who Nick is a big fan of Molly. We see the video of him when he was watching Miami beat Ole Miss. Molly goes for that touchdown, and Nick is literally
yep,
running around the room. that stuff snowballs, right? There are certain kids that come from South Florida that all the other Jets in South Florida have respect for.
Yep.
Molly's one of them. In this class, I feel like Nick is one of them.
Yep.
And zooming out a little bit, and I sent this to one of our chats about how I feel like maybe I was having a moment, but kind of ride me for a second and call me if you feel different. Like, I feel like getting a recruitment like a Nick Lennear this early in the cycle, bro, literally it's March, right? These kids don't have to sign until December. You get a kid like Nick in March, like you said, other kids will want to play with him. I feel like that recruitment, if you're able to win the Mark Matthews recruitment, which we're hearing a lot of good things on that front, not a done deal. We still got to get it through the finish line. You got to get it to the finish line, bro. It's recruitment, right? Nothing's done till it's done. But when you get those kind of kids out of South Florida, where there's that ripple effect throughout the city, throughout the Tri-County area, to me, it signals a change in college football. Like, I'll never forget that Bama national championship team where the starting 4 DBs were all from Miami. I'll never forget Georgia coming in and getting a Sonny Michel, right? Folks being able to come in and get PS2 out of American Heritage and Tyson Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at we were talking about it in the chat, the Palmetto 5. We got what, one of them? Two of them? We got two. We got two of them, right? But you should have been able to get all 5. So all these other schools, you look at Ohio State, they're able to come get a Jeremiah Smith. These schools have gotten fat off of winning these huge South Florida recruiting battles, keeping a Malachi home, keeping a Nick Lennear home. If you're able to keep a Mark Matthews home. To me, that, as much as anything else, signals a shift in recruiting in South Florida. Am I reaching on that? Like, am I making more of that than what it is?
So I was going to look at it more of a national perspective as well. But when we were talking about it 5 years ago, where we thought the tides were turning, nah, the tides have turned. We just showed what we needed to show on the field, that we can bring a national title back, which we were 41 yards away. So we've done it. They've seen it. We have proof of concept. It's the tides have turned. And you mentioned Mark Matthews, but you forgot to mention someone right down the road from us, the 5-star linebacker at Jesuit, Caden Henderson. We gotta go check him out this year when they play.
Yeah. I might know somebody who knows somebody that's real close to him. So, I might try and get an angle and see if I can get that interview. But no, definitely got to go check him out.
We'll talk offline.
Okay. Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll talk offline.
No, for sure, man. But yeah, right. So you're talking about very quickly, potentially 3 5-star guys when you talk Nick Lennear, Mark Matthews, Caden Henderson, not to mention some of the national names too, right? That we're swinging for. DJ Jacobs was very easily going to be a Miami commit. If I mentioned that last week, whatever. That's not done. Mario's not going to take that sitting down, right? So let's just segue that into the last piece. We'll talk about recruiting for right now. In your opinion, bro, how good can this class be? Like, shoot,
I mean,
like
most
things go right reasonably.
Realistically, the ceiling is 1 this year, the number 1 class in the country. And I know that's saying a lot because Oklahoma's class is pretty nice too. But who we're in on them this year and legit in top 2 or top 3, the chips got to fall at one point this way. I mean, you just mentioned Jacobs, you got Matthews, you got Lennear already committed, you got Henderson. That's 4 5-stars right there. That propels you into a top 10 no matter what, on top of what we're going to stack on the class. So the higher you go, the more 5-stars you get, the higher you're going to get. So I think that's the ceiling. I think this year, realistically, top 5 is more realistic. But I think that's within definite reach, not just like a long stretch. So we'll see.
Like, I don't like, it's not a crazy stretch, right? And when you think about what Mario's done in recruiting, we know Mario's a dog recruiter. He's had multiple top 10 recruiting classes. And now, again, I keep saying, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. We have wins to sell now, right? That changes everything. Mario's not selling a vision no more. He's selling tangible results. Right? Everybody, all these opposing fans want to act like, well, if you didn't win the Natty, your season ended like everybody else's. No, that's not how that works. It's not first or last Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights. That's not how this works.
Nope.
Wins matter. Being in the playoff matters. Beating SEC teams, it matters from a perception. And these recruits are feeling it. You see it with some of the names that we're linked to.
Correct. And one thing just to add to that, I know Mario's the best recruiting coach in the country. The one thing I do want to add, and he gets a lot of slack, that man Dennis Smith is a menace. He is integral to our what we do, and it's crazy to see what he does. So he's got to get some respect there too,
I don't understand why people talk crazy about Dennis. Like Dennis does,
because he
all he
tweets.
does is bring the energy around
That's
the
why.
program. Like, what's the beef with that? I've never understood it.
Me either, but that's what it is. But people don't realize how much he does for the program, and it's huge. We wouldn't be where we are without him. So I just wanted to
Listen,
throw that in there.
yeah, Mario is not paying guys to be in roles because it sounds good, right?
Exactly.
Like we don't have to worry about that with that no more. Where guys are in positions and they getting a check just to be around. Mario don't run his program like that. So anybody that Mario keeps around, I have full faith that they're doing their job and they're there for a reason. So
Correct.
Dennis has a very specific job that you see. Nobody else gets that opportunity but Dennis, which means Mario wants him there for a reason.
Correct.
Let's make a quick pivot, bro. We're going to finish up talking a little
Okay.
spring ball. So I hadn't shown this on here yet. I'm sure it's been circulated. People have seen it. This is the 2026 spring ball calendar. These are the important dates. As you see, spring ball is going to start on the 24th, Tuesday. We are less than 2 weeks away. We are 13 days away from spring ball. Guys on the field. Has not popping just yet, but actual ball play happening, right? You'll start getting reports. We'll start getting interviews. You start getting access to the team that we're not seeing right now. And it's coming quick. Let's use that as an opportunity to start talking about some of the guys that we're excited to see. So bunch of new names on the roster, new recruits coming in. Obviously, as we lose guys to the league, NFL drafts coming up, and you're going to see several Miami Hurricanes walk across that stage early and often. But when they leave, that means other guys get to step up. So new guys getting opportunities, guys who may have been on the roster and maybe now the snap count goes up because of Ruben Bain goes to the first round. We know we're going to replace the CC Maui Noah. You got a new quarterback, new receivers in the room. A lot of guys we could talk about. Let's kind of focus it a little bit. This could be tough. We're going to go 2 guys on offense, 2 guys on defense. So we'll go 1 for 1. Who is your first guy on offense that you're excited to watch in spring?
So I've been going back and forth with this all day. First one I want to see is the development of Luka Gilbert. I've been hearing good things, and we need a tight end like that.
Okay.
We need a tight end that can block and catch. And I mean, he's got all the tools to do it. So I hope he puts it together and takes a second leap. That's who I want to see. But we'll see from there.
Okay. I thought you were going to take some of the low-hanging fruit, but since you didn't, I'll take it. Give me Darian Mensah, bro. Like, come on. Like,
That's a
you
given.
go out. I mean, yeah, like it's a layup. It is cheap, but I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to the show if we didn't talk about the new gunslinger, a guy who probably will have a guy who will have an opportunity to play himself into a first-round draft pick. Maybe not number 1 overall, but it's going to be a loaded draft class. I think he's going to end up being a top 3 quarterback in what is going to be considered a very, very deep quarterback class. Darian Mensah somehow is still getting slept on, I think, nationally. Like, if you go look
no
at the
reason.
projected top 10 quarterbacks in the 2027 NFL draft, way too early list, he's not top 5, which I think is just goofballery. So when it comes to spring, I got to start with the quarterback. Shiny new toy quarterback. We went and spent good money to get him. He's a high-level talent.
Yep.
He is really going to elevate this offense. I think the offense is going to be electric. And obviously, it starts with the quarterback.
And I mean, honestly, just to add to that, I said this 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago now with Cam Ward. I said it in the chat. I said, if this season goes how we think it's going to go, he will be in New York. And I feel the same way about Mensa for the Heisman. So we'll see. He's just got to put it all together. And then that offensive line's got to block for him. But he's going to have all the arsenal in the world.
And love that he gets a spring. He gets a full spring, which Carson didn't get. And it's almost, you kind of wonder, like, how much better could the offense have been if Carson got the spring, right? Because he was delayed in building some of that chemistry. And you saw the back half of the season, he
Yep.
really went off and you could tell that he was in rhythm with his guys. And it's like, I wonder if he gets a spring. Well, Mensah gets a full spring. All right. Who is your number 2 guy on offense that you're excited to watch in spring?
So another one that I'm expecting more than the public's expecting is Cam Vaughn, the transfer from West Virginia. He's had
Okay.
pretty good years the past 2 years. He's a
Okay.
6'2", 205. He's not as good of a route runner as CJ was, but I think he can bring something that we didn't have to go with Mally, and then we have over the top this year with Jacobs and Barkate. So, I mean, I think it's just going to open up everything, and I think he's going to be a sleeper for that third receiver. I think it's going to be him or Josh Moore, but that's just my opinion there.
You know how I feel about Josh Moore. You know that I really want to see Josh take that next step and legitimately go win that job. But he's gonna have to win it, right?
Mhm.
You brought in guys like Cam Vaughn for a reason. But I would love to see Josh win. That's a good pick though, right? Because you talk about the ceiling of the offense. We know the run game gonna be there. That running back
Mhm.
room is one of the best in the country.
The
The
best in
wide
the country,
receiver
but that's
room,
another story.
is it the? Yeah, we might have to double back on that. Let's see what happens in spring around the country. We might have to have that conversation.
I mean,
I might have to
Oregon's up
bring
there,
it
but
back. I'm gonna have to
I
next time I
like
bring you
ours.
on. Let's rank some rooms versus the
We
rest of
could
the
do that.
country.
And then,
Okay,
I
bet.
mean, when's the last time, question for you on this? When's the last time we were legit 6 deep at the wide receiver position? A legit 2 deep.
A legit 2 deep
A
at
long
wide
time ago.
receiver.
A long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, maybe like '08. Just off the top of my head, maybe like '08.
This is the first year in a long time we've had a legit 2 deep. I mean, you think about it, you got Mally, you got Josh, you got Cam Vaughn, you got Jacobs, who's a speedster, which is going to open up Dawson's offense even more. You got Cooper Barkate, who is
Who?
Mintz's favorite guy. And then people are sleeping on my guy, Dalen Upshaw. I don't know why. He is like that. I think he's going to
Okay.
play sparingly this year, but
Mhm.
he is like that. So we'll see. But
Okay, you got
I'm
Milan in
excited
there
for the
too.
offense.
They say physically Milan
Oh,
looks
he's
like a college
massive.
guy already.
I told you
That's
when
what
I
they
saw him at the
say.
Natty, I was like, this kid's way bigger than he's listed. He's probably closer
He-
to 6'7" than anything, but he's tall.
Physically, if it's there, bro, you just got to put the little pieces together, the little technical pieces.
And
So
don't sleep on my guy Wingo. Kid's a
we,
stud.
hey, he is. I gotta see it. I gotta see it. I think there's a lot there. I just gotta see it, man. And then looking at Vance, man, like if that speed is back, that's a
Just
different
gotta stay
element than
healthy
we've had.
there.
He's gotta stay
Yep.
healthy, man. I hope
Yep.
it's not a Stacy Coley type of career for Vance, man, because
No, let's not
the
wish that on
ceiling is
anybody. Let's
crazy.
just,
Nah, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
he's,
The ceiling is crazy for him.
yeah,
All right,
let's
bro.
just
Let's
keep
flip the
that.
defense. Let's flip the defense. Who is your number 1 guy you are excited to watch on the defense?
Kamal Bonner, linebacker.
Really, bro, you are coming left field with all these picks. I'm not mad at it. Why Kamal Bonner?
Because I know how hyped they were when he came in last year and injuries derailed
Okay,
him. And I think we would be having a completely different perception of him going into the spring if he was healthy all last year. He would have definitely played.
okay,
He missed a lot of
okay.
time. People don't realize that. He was not dressed out for
Mm,
most of the season.
true
So
story. Okay.
that's my guy. I think he's gonna take a big step. And I think Wiley's gonna take a big step too. But definitely Bonner's the number one. I wanna be out there and watching.
Bonner taking that step would be huge because that's one of the positions that's actually kind of up for grabs. There's a lot of positions on that defense that ain't up for grabs. That's
Nope.
one of the few. If of like maybe 3 positions that are kind of up for grabs, I guess you could say. Not really. Maybe just 2. Just that linebacker spot and the other DN spot that's like up for
I mean,
grabs.
I think they're not settled on who's going to play the nickel and who's going to be the third safety yet. I don't think they're settled on that between Bryce and Omar. It's going to be those two, but I don't know how they're going
Right.
to do it back and forth. So
That's why I say that
otherwise, yeah,
that one's not really up for grabs because it's going to be one of those 2, and whichever one's not at nickel is going to be the other safety. So it's like true like battles. It's the other linebacker spot, your weak side linebacker spot, and then the opposing the DN spot across from Damon Wilson. So my number 1 guy that I'm excited to see in spring, and you're not gonna be surprised to hear this. You're not gonna be surprised at all. Marquise Lightfoot, dog. Like I feel like Lightfoot's ceiling is so high. Like
It is.
obviously, he's got to keep on the weight. Rumors are, I think Gabby put out a report. Gabby Rudy over at 27 Sports, who does a phenomenal job at what he
My
does,
guy.
put out a report, I think, recently that Lightfoot was up to 235 or
Yeah,
240,
235,
something like
240.
that.
Yeah, and he wants to play at 245 from what I heard. It's possible because that's
Man,
still 5 months away. So
listen, man, that kid, the length and the speed off the edge that Marquise Lightfoot brings, we have maybe one other guy on the roster. Actually, no, not a Damon Wilson's there. Damon Wilson has that as well.
Ashari
Maybe
Charles, he has it.
yeah, no, Shar's a little shorter though, ain't he? Just a little bit shorter.
He's like 6'3".
Yeah, more like
Lightfoot
6'3".
6'5".
Keys is like 6'4". I feel like
He's
maybe
6'5". He's
6'4" and a
listed as
half is
six
it.
five. Yeah,
Yeah. And then the young boy who got hurt last, Hayden Lowe, is also same like 6'4" in that range.
beast.
He's a little more built naturally than Marquise Lightfoot, but I feel like Marquise Lightfoot ceiling is so crazy with what we can see him do off the edge as a pass rusher. If he can put on the weight and keep on the weight to hold up against the run, bro, I think that kid's gonna be special, man. Like, I'm talking like Jalen Phillips, Greg Russo, potential first round ceiling. If he can put it all together, he can keep on that weight. That's just the only thing. He's got to be able to put that weight on and keep it on.
Yep.
Who's your number 2 defensive guy that you're ready to see in spring?
So I mean, easy to point out Xavier Lucas because it's his money year, but then you just
Yep.
look at it from a bigger picture, and it's all 4 of our top corners money year. You got Damari, who's been here 4 years already. You got OJ, who's going to be a junior. Ethan O'Connor is going to be a redshirt sophomore, and then or redshirt
Mhm.
junior, and then you got Xavier, who's a true junior. And I think Xavier has a legit round 1 talent. I think we could see 3 of our corners drafted next year, and I don't know if you noticed this, but in the national championship, as soon as he came in off his suspension, the defense changed for us for when Lucas
Yep.
came back. So I
Mhm.
just think people slept on him because they didn't hear his name much, and that's a good thing when you're a corner. You don't want to hear your name called. So
Yes.
people don't realize that they want to hear the like the Keontae Scott, who just is a complete game changer, but they don't realize someone's shutting down the other side of the field. So that's the thing I want to see. We'll see though. I mean, all 4 of them could be real problems.
Okay. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. And again, the depth we got at corner is crazy. The fact that we kept all of them. They all 4 could start at a lot of P4 schools. And I mean a lot of P4 schools. And the fact that they all stayed, it would be dope if 2 of them came back, right, the following season, because none of them have to leave. They'll all have an additional year of eligibility. So it'd be dope if we were able to keep a couple more of them going into what would be the 2027 season.
Yeah, I
My
mean, we
number
got
2.
real quick before you do that, we got 2 that are in the waiting in the wings. That I mean, we got Jabori Antoine, who's really good. I'm
That's
expecting
what
him to
they
be a
say.
starter for us eventually. And then I just keep hearing Cam Deportis' name. I mean, they love him in the nickel.
Okay.
They think he could play right away. So we'll see
That'd
once
be
the pads
good.
come on. But
That'd be good. The nickel spot has from a recruitment standpoint has left some to be desired. So yeah, if you can home grow a good nickel, that'll be big for the program and good for the
yep,
defense. Speaking of the nickel spot, my number 2 guy, that boy they call, you can't see it on my camera. You can't see, I ain't got no space. That boy Bryce Fitzgerald, man. Hey,
yep,
listen, that jit is so fun to watch. Like just putting the film on, especially when you that all 22 and just watching how Bryce sees the field. That stuff you can't teach. You cannot teach feel for the game, his reaction time, his natural ability on that back end. And I think about the conversations we heard about Cam. Oh my gosh, who was the nickel before Keontae? Oh my gosh.
to Corey Couch or
No,
before that,
no, 0. He wore the 0. He had the interception
Mish
in the US.
Mish Powell.
Mish. And you remember the conversations about Cam talking about Mish and the battles they had in the spring and in practice. And I know Mish kind of fell off, and it didn't end the way we wanted to with him. But there was a challenge there right? Where Cam and Mish kind of pushed each other. They both were experienced guys and they understood the ball. And I imagine you had the same thing last year with Carson Beck and Keontae Scott because of the way we use the nickel, the way Heatherman weaponizes that position. You hit a lot of battles. I would love to hear the same thing about Bryce Thorne. Bryce
Fitzgerald. You said
Fitzgerald.
Thornton. You're talking about the guy at Ohio State basketball.
I'm tripping. No, I don't know where I got that name. Maybe I don't know. I don't know where I got Thornton from. Bryce Fitzgerald and Darian Mensah, right? That chess match where off that nickel spot, is he blitzing? Is he jumping something in the flats? Is he jumping a screen? Is he dropping in coverage and making plays? Because when you have a DB like that, it pushes your quarterback, right? Where you never know where he is on the field. You got to account for him. It makes the quarterback better when he's practicing against somebody like that. And if you make mistakes around Bryce, he makes you pay. So I'm excited to hear about Bryce having those chess matches with Darian Mensah, reading and seeing the field, maybe even getting some picks, right? Because that's going to make Darian better. Bro, I'm so excited about Bryce. Like he's not going to be my favorite player because I'm a trench guy. So my favorite players are usually trench guys. But man, Bryce is special, dog. I'm super excited to hear about Bryce. And especially that chess match with him against Molly, him against Arcade, and him against Mensah, man, I think that's going to be super dope to watch as the spring develops. Bro, I told you 30 minutes was going to fly, right?
Yeah, it flew by. That was crazy.
It's insane. Like you said, when you talking shop, though, man, you talking Canes ball, man, the time just absolutely flies. Bro, been waiting to get you on. Man, I appreciate you coming on, chopping it up with me. Gotta bring you back, of course. There's gonna be so much to talk about when spring hits. Interviews, recruiting is gonna continue to stay hot. We talked about that. Nick Lennear is already in the boat. As you mentioned, Mark Matthews is out there. Caden Henderson is out there. There's a number of other national names that we're deep into. Recruiting's not gonna stop. It's only gonna get hotter. You know, we're gonna continue to talk about that. Spring ball is less than 2 weeks away, so we're gonna have some actual ball talk to have. Talking about how some guys are developing, guys that are stepping up and stuff like that. As always, I appreciate everybody that tunes in. If you're here, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. Go steal your girlfriend's phone, subscribe on her phone too. I support stealing when it comes to matters like that. Adam, bro, I appreciate you coming on, dog. Got to bring you back for sure.
Yes, sir. And you know where to find me on the posts. If you know, you know.
I ain't gonna say nothing. We're gonna leave it at that. Y'all always know what it is. It is always Gold Canes. I'm gonna holler at y'all next week, Wednesday night at 8 p.m.